Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about The Good Doctor Series 1 episode 16, and the title of that episode was called Pain. So I'm going to be talking about it from Dr. Murphy's perspective, who is the autistic doctor, and from my own autistic perspective as an autistic woman myself. So let's get into the video. So during this episode we see Dr. Murphy with a patient, and they're talking to each other about their strengths whilst the patient's going through a lot of pain. Dr. Murphy is able to build a rapport with him and understand his patient with regards to how a person with a fellow disability has pain and how he's struggling to understand why he's not very well. Dr. Murphy is able to have that empathy and that understanding because he can understand what pain is. As someone on the autistic spectrum, we feel pain more deeply and we feel it more quickly because of our sensitivities to pain and our threshold to deal with pain. So Dr. Murphy is able to recognise what his patient is going through. So Dr. Murphy, if you don't know about the Good Doctor, Dr. Murphy is a autistic doctor. He also happens to have savant syndrome, which basically means he's highly intelligent. He's able to see things in a more detailed way than the neurotypical person. And savant syndrome means that he can see things photographically. He can see things happening before they happen. So Dr. Murphy is very, very good in that aspect in the medical situation. And what Dr. Murphy says to his patient is that people are often afraid to talk about pain or their burdens or their issues because they don't know how to communicate it in a successful way. And as someone on the autistic spectrum, Dr. Murphy is very difficult with expressing himself. He finds it very difficult to tell people how he's feeling and thinking and why he acts a certain different way. And the problem is when we're trying to care for people who are disabled or in a relationship, it's very difficult to self-read what they need and what they're trying to tell us, because people on the autistic spectrum don't understand body language or the right way to convey a message to someone sometimes. So for Dr. Murphy to be in that situation, he's having to learn how to understand his patient, the patient's needs, the pain, the relationship, how to keep it on a professional level as well as a personal level. So for a lot of people on the autistic spectrum like myself, pain, friendship, relationships are difficult often to not cross that barrier, because when you're autistic and you're on your spectrum, sometimes you do struggle to misunderstand people. You don't understand where to offer empathy and when not to offer empathy. So again, it is very difficult for people on the autistic spectrum to understand other disabled people or people with mental health issues or other disabilities in that environment. So I like the fact that Dr. Murphy got to know his new neighbour and he didn't judge him or didn't freak out when he got to meet him. I think Dr. Murphy was able to show a basic level of compassion and empathy. He was able to successfully communicate with his new neighbour, and I think that will benefit him in the long run with regards to talking about people and how to communicate in a way that is not seen as creepy or weird, or that autistic people are difficult and don't know how to appropriately talk to people. And when you're in a medical situation, you have to be very quick on your head. You have to be very quick with how you communicate, think, react, how you feel. You have to keep it in a professional context. So I know that Dr. Murphy struggles with this, and he's trying to understand his patient. He's trying to understand his fellow teammates. He's trying to understand where he has to draw the line between feeling and thinking how he's dealing with the situation, and then he's having to think and feel on behalf of his teammates and the fellow doctors and how not to cross that professional boundary. At the same time, being with someone with ASD, it can be very difficult because, again, we're not very understanding when it comes to knowing when not to say something, and when we're in pain, when we're in severe stress, or we're in overloaded situation. Dr. Murphy dealt with that really well, and as someone like myself on the autistic spectrum, I struggle to deal with pain. I struggle to deal with how I feel and how I react to things because my brain doesn't process it properly. So when I feel in pain or I'm upset or I'm angry, I get really triggered quite quickly because I don't know how to feel. And when I do feel a certain emotion, it's all one big blur. It's not the fact that I can't separate it, it's boom, everything is just right there at the service, and I don't know how to switch it off, shut it off. And I feel sorry for Dr. Murphy because he is made fun of. In The Good Doctor, he is struggling to communicate. He is on the autistic spectrum, and some of the doctors don't understand that he needs time to just decompress and deal with the situation. And I feel that when you get to know Dr. Murphy as well as what I've got to know him through the episodes you see a change in him, and that he is trying to be appropriate, he is trying to help the patient, he is trying to think the best way to solve the patient's medical problem. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed hearing my little bit of perspective as an autistic woman, and yeah, I look forward to chatting again to you soon, and I will see you on another video. Bye guys!